close to Halloween time. Kinda. It's the season. You know, technically, if you're going by the corporate calendar, the season of Halloween starts in June. That's when, no joke, they put the coming soon Spirit Halloween store. That's when they put that sign up. So if we're going by the corporate calendar, right about when the kids get out of school, they start putting up the Halloween candy and the back to school stuff, which is fun, you know. Kevin Arthur, good afternoon. And if you're going by normal human feelings and emotions, seasonal depression disorder. Hey, what's up, Edward Thornton? Good to see you. You know, right around mid-September, late September, that's when the Halloween season starts to kick in. And I don't know, what do you guys do for the Halloween season? Do you decorate? Do you wear a costume to bed? Do you trick or treat on, you know, random days? Going, I'm just practicing, but seriously, do you have any candy? I'll tell you what I've been doing. I've been working on putting curses on people. A lot of curses I'm putting out there. A lot of curses. And I think I'm getting good at cursing people. And the thing is if any of you have watched The Craft, it's a great 90s movie with Neve Campbell. If you watch The Craft, you clearly learned that when you curse someone, it comes back threefold on you. So if you put a curse on someone, it will come back threefold. Whatever the curse you put on someone, that specific curse will come back 3 times on you. So I have been cursing people with an abundance of money. So much money they don't know what to do with. I'm like, I curse you. You have so much money you don't know what to do with. I keep putting it out there, but, you know, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for that to come back. So far, I've cursed Elon Musk. I cursed him with so much money he doesn't know what to do with it. I cursed Bill Gates, Larry Ellison, Paul David Stone. I've cursed all these people with an abundance of money. So much money they don't know what to do with that, you know, they take multiple vacations a year. And I'm just right now waiting for that curse of abundant money to come back on me. So that's how I'm preparing for Halloween. I'm cursing people with, again, because it comes back on you threefold, I'm cursing them with an abundance of money. So much money they don't, I mean, they're not happy, so maybe the curse isn't working. Anyways, what do you do? Edward Thornton. I put orange Christmas lights on the saguaro cactus in my front yard. Saguaro. It's a cool sounding word. That's not the edible cactus. I know that. I love eating cactus. You ever eat cactus? That's cool. I like that. I like that little tradition. You put the orange Christmas lights on the saguaro cactus. That sounds like a new kind of electric car. Yo, you seen these saguaro cactus? Oh, the thing is sick. You can get 400 miles on a battery. Yeah, so just curious before we get into the news. Big breaking news. Epstein files. Elon Musk is in it. So I was wondering, I was like, remember when Elon tweeted and he was like, hey, Donald Trump's in the Epstein files, everybody have a nice day. I was like, how does he know this? You know, seems a little odd. He knew Donald was in the Epstein files. And he said, that's the real reason they have not been made public. Well, turns out there was some public drops of the Epstein files today. And guess what? Guess what, guys? You're never going to believe this. You're never going to believe it. Well, there you go. Party with Bill Gates. And who's this? Reminder, Elon Musk to Island, December 6th. So if you were wondering, how did Elon know Donald was in the files? Well, it turns out today we all discovered that Elon he was going on Trivago and booking Epstein Island for his holiday plan. So that's how I'm guessing he celebrated. Sawaro, Edward Thornton. Thank you for the pronunciation. The text to pronunciation. That's what I call it when people spell it out for me. Appreciate you. Old Eddie, if I could call you that. I feel like I should call you Old Eddie. But yeah, we're going to get to the Epstein files dropped that happened today, that I have the files that I'm going to show you. But first, I want to know, how are you prepping for Halloween? How are you prepping for Hallow treats? Trick-or-ween. Some people call it Black Christmas. Some people call it Upside Down Sabbath. Some people call it Socialism Candy Day. Some people call it Stop Ringing My Doorbell. It's a random Thursday in September. Those people are my neighbors. But I just want to know how you celebrate. How you celebrate. You know, are you bringing out the old voodoo doll? Are you getting the old bones? Are you adopting as many black cats out of the woods as you can? Everybody needs a familiar, you know. And I was explaining to everybody that I've been cursing as many folks as I can, because if you don't know, a curse comes back on you threefold. So I've been cursing people like Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Larry Ellison, that TikTok billionaire, the NVIDIA CEO, all these people. I've been cursing them with abundant wealth. So much money they don't know what to do with, and I'm just waiting for that to come back on me threefold. So yeah, that's how I'm spending my Halloween season. Cursing people with an abundance of money, because it's going to come back on me threefold. Threefold abundance of money is going to be awesome. But yeah, we can get into some news. Guys, Joe Rogan is officially the king of doublespeak. He has officially lost his mind and lives in a bubble. He's the boy in the bubble. That's what I'm going to start calling him. Joe Rogan is the boy in the comedy spaceship bubble. Somebody should make a movie on him, because he lives in a bubble and it's very sad. It's very sad to see Joe to actively participate in a man's mental degeneration. You know, he's very scared of real life. He sees things online, and he has SEAL Team 6 accompanying him everywhere. You know, and those aren't the signs of a guy who feels strong, you know? If you're like, I have my own personal Navy SEALs who follow me everywhere, I would say, what are you scared of? That's what I would say. But, you know, other people look at him as a hero. We're going to play some audio of him clearly living in the bubble that he's built for himself. He's built a bubble that consists of a podcast and a comedy spaceship. Because nobody, there's no open dialogue with Joe. It is Joe's way or the polio way. And that's really it. And it's sad, you know, because I think a lot of people there was a gradual decline. A lot of people started listening to him because, you know, they were like, oh, this guy hears all kinds of different sides of stories. And, you know, what was it called? Objectively dumb. The dumb objectification. I forget what it was called. What was it called? The creation of dumb objectivity. Thank you. Where, you know, people think there are both sides to some things. Like, there is not a both sides to taxing the wealthy. Taxing the wealthy is the only way to get us out of this horrific economy. And it's the only thing, ironically, we haven't tried. It's the only thing. And here in Massachusetts, we put a 2% millionaires tax in place. Every kid gets free school lunch. You can get a free bachelor's degree, all from the millionaires tax. And it's the one thing. America will do anything. It will cut, you know, put homeless people in jail. It will take healthcare from the most vulnerable, the ones who need it the most. It will raise your prices. It will put soy boy Arkansas farmers out of business. It will do anything to not tax the wealthy people. And that's the one thing we really just need to do. And they won't even try it. You know, they'll do everything. And then if you're like, well, let's just tax the wealthy, you know, the ones who can afford it the most, the ones who are not worried about the price tag, they're like, no, anything with that. We'll disband the military. We'll disband that socialist military. No, I'm just kidding. They won't do that. The military is how they're going to enforce, you know, not taxing the wealthy, especially when the water wars come. But that's the one thing that can help us all. It will help everybody. Tax the people who are hoarding all the wealth so everybody else can have health care. And they won't try it. And it's sad because a lot of people, you know, started listening to Joe because they thought he was an open-minder, he was a free-range mind. I think that's the term they were using. They were like, I love Joe. He's a free-range mind, you know. Smell what he's cooking, as R.M. Brown says. You're going to smell what what Joe's cooking. I think that's the term being used now. I think legally that's what you have to say. Where is it? Where is it? Where on brown stuff? Come on. Come on.
Well, Lottie frickin' God!
No, that's not it. That's not my arm brown. Oh, man. My arm brown is gone.
But I thought that was funny.
Yeah, you thought that was funny. Where's my arm? Here we go. It was way over there. Sorry, folks.
Watch me cook on this one.
Watch me cook on this one. That's what people used to say about Joe Rogan. Watch him cook on this one. Watch him both sides of this. And now it's unfortunate because everybody, I put a link to a video below, podcast Cringe. You might know the gents around the YouTube that call out these nonsensical shenanigans. And podcast Cringe had a great video today. I'm going to play a clip of his video featuring Joe Rogan on how nobody pushes back against Joe. There's no, you just, yes, sir, yes, and. It's like an improv class with Joe. You know, Joe's podcast now has become an improv class. You just say yes and, Joe. Yes and, yes and. And you see it in this Andrew Santino podcast where the only thing, he doesn't even ask his guests questions anymore. He just does a lecture and then he has his guests say yes. Oh, uh-huh. Wow. Ooh, yes. He's going to be great when the AI revolution comes. Joe interviews the AI Gandhi. And you see it because Joe's just saying stuff. And the sad thing is like somebody just not even push back. Just say, well, Joe, what about this? And I'm going to do that. I'm going to present the other side of the argument for Joe because everyone who is around Joe Rogan, Polio Rogan, you might know him as. A lot of people are calling him that. But Polio Rogan, if he wasn't surrounded by people who are just around him to get paid, every comic around him is trying to perform and get paid. His SEAL Team 6, getting paid. The people come on his podcast trying to promote something, get paid. Trying to do a spot at his club, get paid, his comedy spaceship. So everyone, and could you imagine, I almost feel bad for him, because could you imagine having all the money in the world, so everybody is just kind of like leeching off you, you know, they're all around you, not because they love your company and want you to loudly lecture them, you know, about how you're right, and how could the internet be fake, it said it was real, why does it lie? But could you just imagine, like, everyone around you? So I kind of feel bad for Polio Rogan, but not really, you know, because he built this prison he lives in, and he could easily get out of it, you know. When I was making a lot of money, I made sure I had guys around me that were like, you know, no men. Like, when I would hire people, I would say, I want to be the dumbest guy in the room. I hired each of you for a specific purpose. We're going to get my kid back. No, that's Liam Neeson. That's Taken. Damn it. That was not me. No, when I hired people, I would say, listen, you know, be the best at whatever you're at. You know, go and do it and show me up and prove me wrong and make me look dumb and all that stuff, because that means I got the best team. If everybody's just saying yes to me, then I got the worst team ever. So Joe could have cultivated a different thing, but this is just, you know, fragile. Like Joe says, weak men create hard times, and he's a very weak man creating very hard times for the rest of us. So I'm going to present, I'll play the role of guest number, 40 billion and two, but I'm not going to be a guest that's related or friends with Peter Thiel. And we're going to take Andrew Santino, his guest, and throw him out of there. And I'm going to go, well, what about this, Joe? What do you think about this, Joe? And he's not going to be able to yell at me like he did Brian Callen when Brian Callen tried to bite the hand that fed him. So we're going to do that in just a minute. But do you know where this comes from? I wonder if you can name this poem. I want to see if you could name this poem. It's done by a famous politician. It's a very famous poem. You must know this.
Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? And Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you.
Does anybody know what poem that is? Does anybody know? It's Joe Rogan reading the poem. Can anybody tell me who wrote this poem and to whom? It's an ode. It's a birthday poem.
Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? And Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you.
Trump's poem, DM Tabor, you win. I'm not sure what you won, but Callan didn't have the courtesy for a reach. Hey, if you're going to challenge the ground, at least reach around first, you know? Yes, that is Joe Rogan reading the famous poem by Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein.
Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? And Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you.
Oh, perverts around the country, folks. Perverts. And some of you voted for him. Some of you voted. You were like, we're going to release the files. I'm going to vote for the guy that's all over those files. It was best friends with the guy who has the files. We're going to do it, folks. We're going to do it. It's hilarious. Some of you are really, hey, what's up, Alma? Good to see you. By the way, J Money, what's up? If I'm missing people, my apologies. I'm not reading the comments. And I needed to point out, Too Lazy to Try is real good. Thank you. Thank you. He is. I linked Podcast Cringe because I think he had a recent episode out today. But I do have my deep fake Albanian. Wait, what kind of farmer is it? Hold on. I have these glasses can identify bot farms from
Azerbaijan and Albania.
They can identify bot farms from Azerbaijan and Albania. So suck it. I know a lot of you are, you know, if you're not a bot farm, you're acting like one. Let's put it like that. So I have these glasses on just so I can, you know, peruse through the comments who's real and who is sadly a bot farm. Jimmy says the water wars. Oh, Jimmy. Sorry, I'm just scrolling back through the comments. I'll stay on track. Jimmy. You must be new to the channel. I encourage you to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm Rob. I go live 5 days a week, sometimes on weekends. I'm here to joke about the news because the news is a joke. It's a sad joke, folks. There are serious people, like serious as in they're real people, but they're deeply unserious, that said, I believe in law and order. I want the Epstein list released. So I'm going to vote for the felon who is all over the Epstein list and was best friends with Epstein. And those people like think they're like serious political minds, like Joe Rogan. This is real life, folks. It's hard for some of us, you got to understand, for some of us watching from the outside, it's very hard to go, these people are like deeply unserious. And, you know, they have like 24-hour security. Polio Rogan's like, you know, a podcaster. He's definitely not a comic anymore, but he, you know, acts with the authority of like the god of a small country, you know, or lowercase g god, like one of the obscure Greek gods, you know, or he acts like the Minotaur. Who fought the Minotaur? He acts like, you know, like there were Greek legends written about him. This fucking guy, man, I'm telling you. J Money. Law and order. I'm going to vote for the felon. You know, I believe in law and order, so let's put a felon in the White House. Jimmy, yeah, I'm subbed. I don't always get a chance to go live. Well, I'm glad you're here. So, Jimmy, if you're subbed, let me get back to my point. The water wars. I've been saying this since about 2008. If you don't know, Nestle is a ginormous company that keeps buying up water. There was a documentary, I think, in the mid-2000s about Nestle coming in and buying up Poland Springs, I think it was. And Poland Springs used to be what it meant to be from Maine. Poland Springs was a natural spring water company out of Maine. Loved them. I don't buy them anymore. But Nestle came in and bought up all the ground rights to water, or like bought land and got all the water rights, essentially. So they sucked the water out of these huge major corporation. Came into Maine. Maine is like generations of these people that have just decided to live outside of civilization up in Maine. I mean, you got to respect them, right? They are living in Maine. There are mooses in Maine. Meese? Are there meese or mooses? I don't know. But there's these ginormous animals. They're like, yeah, that's my neighbor. Back off. So ever since then, I realized, if we as a country just allow these corporations to buy up all the rights to water, at some point there's going to be water wars. This is inevitable. This is just a fact, guys. This is not like me speculating. Like at some point, so just so everybody knows, fossil fuels are a finite resource. So when a lot of people are like, hey, we should, we got the sun, this thing called the sun. It comes up every day so far. We should try to harness that for energy, create jobs, not have to pay fossil fuel, these Texas billionaires, for gas for a car. And then the other thing is like water. Water, they're not making more of it. And if we keep trashing it, I mean, maybe they're trying to make more with it. That's why they're melting the ice caps. I don't know. Is that why? Is that what they said? I don't know. But there's a finite amount of drinking water on the earth. And if a corporation is like, oh, we have all the money and the lawyers, so we're just going to own all the water. Have you ever seen that movie, The Lorax? I believe it was done by that great philosopher, Dr. Seuss. Was he inspired by Tarantino, or is Tarantino inspired by Dr. Seuss? Either way, the Lorax, they used to bottle air and sell it to you. There's a great song. I forget what it goes like, but it's a corporation bottling air and selling it to people. It's like breathe clean air. And, you might have watched that and thought, oh, this is adorable. This is a cute movie. Oh, what? Nestle just bought all the rights to the water in our city? Interesting. And not put those two parallels together. That Dr. Seuss was writing a warning to society. I know it sounds crazy. I know. And here are some people like making fun of me, being like, oh, you're jealous of Joe Rogan. Well, if Joe Rogan said this, you guys would be like, oh, genius. I want to watch him ice bath. How do you feel? No, I'm not talking to, 63 of you, 163 of you. I'm talking to one of you. How does it feel to watch another grown man do an ice bath and think, I don't know what you think about yourself. Your parents are probably a little disappointed. But I just want to know, to that one person who watches Joe Rogan go in an ice bath and think like, this is like, man, I'm an alpha. I really want to jump inside your head for a little bit and just figure out what it takes to watch other men ice bath while you thinking yourself is an alpha. Shit.
Your brain's cooked.
That's what I'm saying, Joe. Apache Tomcat, beta male vibes here. This is my whole point. I summoned you. I hope you know that, Tomcat. I do that as bait. That's my bait. Once I start talking about alphas, I know people are going to come out and call me a beta. Here's the thing. I don't subscribe to any of that rubbish because it's nonsense. You guys are so cute with your I'm an alpha. No, I'm an alpha. No, you're a beta carotene, silly. That's what you sound like. Oh, do you even lift? I love it. Hey, all the beta skibbity cucks are coming out. They're like, do you even lift, bro? Do you? What do you take Tylenol? Are you even eating elk hearts? Huh? Are you? That's what makes a man. You guys are so silly. You're the silliest bunch of serious people I know. Oh. Basilisk, cool name, by the way. Alphas don't need to announce their alpha. Thank you. Yummers, did you just say skibbity? Yeah, that's the new, it's above, there's beta, alpha, sigma, omega, skibbity risma. Skibbity risma is the top. Oh my God, you guys are funny. Oh my God. We got to get to the Epstein files. I'm so sorry. They were released, you guys, and turns out Elon Musk knew Donald Trump was in them because Elon Musk is in them. I love that there's a big segment, 17% of registered adults in America, Republicans, thought they were like serious people, and obviously they are in the same predicament that Joe Rogan is in, where nobody will be like, hey Joe, you ever think of this? So he constantly just hears the same thing. He's in like this ultimate podcast echo ball, where he's never challenged. He don't deal with a chat like I do. He don't deal with nothing besides people going yes and. It's like an improv class. And it's truly amazing that there are some people, 17% of Republicans, we talked about this the other day, that were like, this country has lost law and order. I got to vote for a felon to restore the law and order. Plus, I want the Epstein files released, so I'm going to vote for the guy who is best friends, well documented, more photos and videos of him and Epstein than I have with my grandma. I'm going to vote for that guy to release the files and bring back law and order. They're like, you guys are adorable. I love it. You put your work boots on, your tight shirt, and you go and lift at the gym or whatever, and you film yourself, and then you put it online for other guys to gawk at you, and you live in this very serious world where I'm so serial, guys. I'm lifting. Whoa, how much you benching? My weight. I pick myself up. And then there's the rest of us who are like, one day they're gonna look in the mirror and go, oh shit.
Your brain's cooked.
We know, Joe. We know. But enigmas
Never age. Have you noticed that? And Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you.
Now, this is what I say to all those who are like, hey, why didn't the Democrats release the Epstein files? And I go,
Do you think we're babies?
do you think we're babies? None of the politicians work for us, you dummies. But did you think voting for the guy that's the most in them probably was going to release them? Like, come on, guys. But the Democrats actually released the third batch of documents where Epstein planned dates with Elon, Peter Thiel. You know him from Palantir. It's Palantir, but I know he's a Lord of the Rings nerd, but I'm like, Peter, it was right there. You should have called it Palantir, And then the catchline could have been like, we're your new government. Deal with it. That would have been great. Because we can't lose comedy, folks. We already have a fascist regime of pervert felons that are running everything, and then other people thinking that the pervert felons are going to rat on the other pervert felon. It's just so weird because it's like Trump is loyal to no one, so he's not protecting anyone. He's protecting his own hide. But anyways, in all this mess, we need to have some comedy. So I say, Peter Thiel, rename Palantir to Palantir. And it could say, libertarians, your dream government, a corporation, deal with it, Amazing stuff. But the Democrats are actually releasing stuff. Prince Andrew, he is listed. Oh, I didn't do the other. There's more. I linked it down below if you want to read this for yourself. These are the files. But there's one file that's like heavily redacted. And it says like payment for Andrew for a masseuse. Hold on, let me pull it up. Oh no, got an error. The government's on to me. Government's on to me, guys. Government's on to me. Where's the Epstein stuff? Here it is. What does it say? Hold on. Massage for Andrew. 50120 massage extortion. Exorcism yoga. $200. So he's collecting payment. But I linked the files down below. I linked the Democrats Oversight Committee to the link to the files, and then a Sky News thing about it. Before we get to the Joe Rogan audio, here, I'll give you a little teaser. Joe's talking about, and this is from Podcast Cringe's video today. Joe Rogan's talking about the Kirk Merc. That's what I'm going to call from now. The Kirk Merc, when Kirk got Merc, and how he compared the guy who did it to a cougar. It's very stupid. And Andrew Santino, if he wasn't a spineless rube, he probably would have said something back. But
The point is mountain lions. You gotta let them know who's boss.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not for killing mountain lions.
The old Joe.
no.
You think he's finally snapped out of it, and you breathe a sigh of relief.
Hold on. I gotta get to the point where we were again. But Andrew, you'll hear Andrew just not say anything. So I'm gonna play the role of podcast guest, where you have discussion and you don't just go yes and Joe. But it was important. This was breaking news that we went over that. But before that, Elon Musk, this guy, remember the guy who was doing efficiency with the government and paid paid government employees to stay home, and now they're rehiring them all. Exorcism yoga, J Money. I couldn't read it. The writing's so small. You can read it for yourself. See if it, it looks like it says exorcism yoga. I don't know. By the way, I wanted to show you guys this because I always tell you that here in America, they go, oh, we're going to criminalize the people without homes. And you can see how the Atlantic and all these corporate media, the lamestream media, and Joe Rogan, who is now lamestream media, is trying to convince you that we don't have the answers. And the answer is like, lock up people without houses. In the Atlantic, Derek Thompson, probably a shill, looking at him, BlackRock is not ruining the U.S. housing market. And I always say, before I read this to you, if you just look up, there are 25 empty homes, 25, 26 empty homes for every person without a house in America. So we have the solution. We have the like we could just put people in homes and have 24 left over. so somebody, Jim, big shout out to Jim. We don't need more housing. A quick search tells you that California has 187,000 homeless people and 1.2 million empty homes. So look, we have the solution. Maybe BlackRock would like to explain why we can't use all those empty homes. So we're going to go through some meme news, and then we'll get to the big news. Serious note. Usually there's a lot of satire and sarcasm. I know some people don't pick up on it. J Money, real alphas can take a mountain lion. Yeah, not with a bow and arrow, Joe. What are you hunting in the Iron Age? Real alphas hunt from the Bronze Age. We use a stone. What was that? What was that diet? Not keto. Do you remember, like, it was like the caveman diet or something? Does anybody remember? I swear, it's the easiest grift here in America to just tell fat people, like, yo, I'm on the Bronze Age diet, where you just eat dandelions, you know? And then you do some slick packaging and have Tony Robbins come in and be like, you know what your problem is? You're not motivated. Stand up and do a jumping jack, boy. So bad, Tony Robbins. Paleo. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Jamie. Paleo. I literally use bare hands. I took a bear's hands and I used him to slap a mountain lion to death. Paleo, be rad. Veronica, thank you. Paleo is the one I was thinking of. Because remember, guys, there was stuff before that. I'm talking about the jazzercise age. In the 90s, jazzercise was the thing, which is brilliant. But there has been diets from then till now. But I think the latest is like keto. I think that's the latest diet. Like, is everything keto friendly? But before that, it was paleo. Who said? Nick Reyes. Mental health is the issue. 100%. You know, we could just fucking give people mental help. Well, you can't cure greed, you know? I don't think Ozempic cures greed. We certainly know a lot of these people just have the greed bug. Richard Simmons, God bless him. Is he still alive? I don't know. Carnivore diet. But I'm telling you, folks, we could just, like Joe Rogan. I would love to be a guest on Joe Rogan's show. And when he's like, yeah, I was bowing. You know, when he asked Mark Zuckerberg, he was like, what kind of bow you use? I would have loved to have been like, bow? What are you, hunting in the Iron Age? Bro, real alphas, we hunt in the Bronze Age. We use bronze pellets. I'd have to think a little more. I just came up with this, but I think it would be amazing to just try to out alpha Joe. But seriously, no cracking. Practice it. That's what they say in real estate. Practice. Olympics cures greed. Interesting. I'll look into that. I'll go down that rabbit hole later. Thank you. KRAR. Good to see you, friend. Good to see you. Good to have you back. Slingshots, Talia. Yeah. Real alphas use slings and rocks. Be like, oh, you were obviously on that New Testament-ish where they were using bow and arrows. I'm Old Testament. It's the David and Goliath diet I'm on, where I only eat stuff I could kill with the slingshot. Shit, is anybody taking notes? We have to practice. I gotta get on Joe Rogan. You're not funny. Rogan is John McShane. You're gonna have to live with those words because we're gonna play some Joe Rogan for you in a minute. And if you think this man is funny, Let me introduce you to Brendan Schwab, because that's where Joe gets all his jokes from. Oh, we should play that. We should play that at some point. John McShane, do not watch Elephant Graveyard. Do not watch Burn the Boats, because I hate to break it to you. I was around when Joe Rogan, he would call into our radio show to yell at Carlos Mencia, Ned Flanders, or whatever his real name is. And Joe used to be really against stealing jokes, and now Joe is stealing Brendan Schwab's jokes. So, but yeah, we got to take notes because I think that's hilarious. Okay, let's go over some meme news, and then we got to get to the real news. The real news. Here, meme news. Here, before we get into the meme news, look at that. Look at that. That's how Americans feel right now, with old oligarchy sitting right on our head. Old oligarchy sitting right on our head, and we're all going, how much longer are we going to tolerate this? Oh, did you see Rogan's last special? No, I will not watch a Rogan special, but I did see other people point out that he stole jokes, which, sad, all caps. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He's friends with perverts. Let's see. It's incredible how if we meet people's basic needs, they'll stop working, and billionaires are hard workers coexist in people's minds. I don't think some people get this, you know. What they're saying is the same people that say these things they're doing doublespeak, because if you're a billionaire, if by this logic, if you meet people's basic needs, they'll stop working. Then by this logic, a billionaire won't work hard because they have their needs met. So I wanted to point this out because some people see that and laugh, and then there's other people who are like, oh, whatever, don't tax those billionaires, they can't afford it. And I say, are they living outside of their means? Are they? If a billionaire can't afford to be taxed, then maybe they shouldn't be getting a new iPhone every year, you know? Ever thought of that? But guys, you know, this is like, you know, the futility of the American mind. They think that giving people health care, not letting them starve, they'll stop working. And then they go and say, billionaires just worked hard, they earned it. Well, if helping people meet their basic needs makes them lazy, then a billionaire, by your definition, is the laziest person ever. I don't know who this guy is, but I've seen him on the Reddit, and I like this point he's making. Never let a job steal your life. But I would also add to this: people who say immigrants are stealing your jobs are stupid, and the people who think the immigrants are the problem don't understand that the billionaires hoard money, and the corporations are in charge of the jobs. So the layoffs this year: Meta 8,000, Intel 24,000, UPS 20,000, FedEx 9,000, Verizon 11,000, Amazon 18,000, Microsoft 15,000, Citigroup 20,000. Go look up how much these companies make. None of them are about to file for bankruptcy. None of them. They're happy that you blame immigrants for stuff while they lay you off, consolidate their power, buy off our politicians, and continue to make you think they're not the problem. So I wanted to point this out. But he also makes a good point. Job security is an illusion. Never feel guilty about leaving your job for a better opportunity. Here we are, J666. Good to see you. I'm going to rehash the thing we opened with. I'm going to ask J666, how do you get ready for Halloween? If you don't celebrate, how do you get ready for the month of October, which is clearly just a spooky month across the globe? And thank you so much for the super chat. 10 cents a day, and you too can sponsor an American. J666 has been sponsoring this show, an American show, for many months now, and I'm very grateful to you. We couldn't do this without you. So J666, thank you. At the beginning of the show, I was opening asking, how are people getting ready for Halloween? If you celebrate in the socialist day of giving candy to everybody. I was saying I was cursing a lot of people, trying to put curses out. If you know anything about curses, they come back on you threefold. So I've been cursing, like, one of them worked, Elon Musk. I cursed him with so much money he doesn't know what to do. So I'm cursing people with an abundance of money, so much money they don't know what to do, and I'm hoping that will come back on me threefold. We'll see. But good to see you, J66. Bear arms to you, sir. You might have missed that joke. KRAR, it's sad how many people are misled. I keep telling people we're all far more similar than we are different. Yep, it does work to start meaningful discord. It does. Well, that's why I'm doing this every single day. How's invent a billion coins and sell you one. It don't make sense. You're right. That comment did not make sense, but appreciate it. Keep trying, Jonathan. You're gonna make sense one of these days, buddy. Edward, you obviously don't know where some of the good jobs of the immigrants take. There's quite a few in LA, a lot in the hotel industry. They're all immigrants. Oh. So you're saying those few jobs, your words, a few jobs that immigrants did take, you're saying is responsible for how by your words, a few jobs, there's quite a few. And again, you're missing like the point. Like you're pointing to a few jobs in LA where I'm saying, guys, do you see how many these companies are worth probably over $1 trillion together and they're laying people off? They can clearly afford, go look up all their CEOs, how much they're paid, what their compensation package is. Stop. You took the bait of these guys that own the media, own the commercials, own your digital spaces. You took the bait and you're like, yeah, I knew an immigrant who got a job once. And it's like, bro, do you hear what the fuck you're saying? Does that account for, what is this, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100,000 jobs? Just layoffs. These are just layoffs. Just this year. 100,000 laid off this year. And you're like, well, there's a couple immigrants who got a good job once. You got to hear what the fuck I'm saying. Please. And if you're concerned about those 80 to 100,000, 6-figure jobs, if you're concerned those 6-figure jobs are going to other people, wait until you learn what these CEOs make. CEO of my company makes $66,000 an hour. What it would take a median employee at my company 3 years to make, the CEO makes it in an hour. So if you're worried about where the money's going, let me tell you, it's not to the people trying to afford egg. You know, this is what I'm trying to deprogram people, okay? Seems like I'm a T-Rex. Well, you know, I was always the guy during Jurassic World to say, I trust the T-Rex. And what do you know? T-Rex was the hero. So I'm a T-Rex. It seems like a canary in the coal mine for a recession. Yeah. But again, in capitalist America, we have recession every 5 to 7 years. You just have to, because these companies can't make enough money. They can't lay off enough people. They can't exploit enough people. They have to make more money. So we have to do a recession every 5 to 7 years. Dude, my nonprofit is running off of $800 a month. We have 2 employees. Is that a comment to something else? I don't know. Like clockwork, Nick Miller. Thank you. Yep. We got to have a recession. Then they got to bail out the people with the most money. I never understood that. I'm like, wait, you got to bail out a bank? Don't they have all the money? How about the people? Can the people have healthcare? And they're like, shut up. No, we got to send $20 billion to Argentina and Javier Milei because he fucked up the economy. You could just, hey guys, if you want to know what was going to happen with Milei, that whoever that dude is, you could just read this book. This is no joke. This book dictates what has already happened. Disaster capitalism. It's already gone through South America and tells you what happens when they free the markets and the CIA helps get the socialist people out of there. That's helping the working people. And then Milton Friedman's capitalists, Chicago boys come in and destroy everything. You can just read this book and you can see what's happening right now. It's amazing. This lady didn't read the tarot cards. She just looked into history. It's fucking crazy. We got to keep going over some meme news. I got to keep getting through this, folks. We got to get through it. Okay, let's get to this one. I saw this. This is sad and funny. Sad, hilarious. When I was growing up, they used to say you died from dysentery in Oregon Trail. Now they updated it. Let's see, what other meme news? Oh, look at this. I've been seeing this all over the Twitter feeds. Democrats are about to shut down the government because they demand fund health care for illegal aliens. Guys, before you even read this response, do you know who's running the country right now? It's all Republicans. You know that, right? Democrats not only have no power, but they're not doing anything. They released some Epstein files today. But it's funny that people will read this and be like, yeah, the Democrats got to stop getting in the way. And it's like, ICE is roaming the streets. The military's in the streets. They're sending billions to Israel, billions to Javier Milei. They're doing whatever they want. But all of a sudden, the Democrats have become this ultimate C blocker, G blocker, government blocker? I don't think so. So Joe Walsh said, nice try. You Republicans control the House, the Senate, the White House. Why are you whining about the Democrats? You control the entire federal government. They control everything. So just wanted to point that out. We're much easier to control when we're dumb and deeply in debt. That is why public education is gutted and college is insanely expensive. It's gatekept. A well-informed critical thinker will want a revolution. If you're working 3 jobs to pay off loans, you won't be at the protest. Said by Lee Camp, redacted, but also a famous George Carlin theory. Who was talking about the water wars? Somebody was. I found this meme, and somebody else clearly thinks the same way I do. Can't wait to fight one of these for access to clean drinking water. So I think this, again, sad hilarious. I had to invent that word because it's sad, but it's hilarious, while we're thinking about it. It's not going to be hilarious when we're having to fight one of these robots to have access to water, but, we'll address that when we get there. Hopefully before then, the working people can have some class consciousness so we could try to, claw back a little bit of control. When they see the bumper stickers that say, take our country back, I'm like, from who, guys? From who? Illegal aliens do not run the country. It's all Republicans. It's all Republicans. Even the Democrats, they're Republican light. They're diet Republicans. It's basically just Republicans in all of our government with billionaires funding them. Take the country back from who, guys? Corporations and the oligarchy? What do you say, Grant? Grant Plattner? Who should we take? Who do you think we should focus on in this country? Who?
And the enemy is the oligarchy.
Thank you. And some of you are still acting like this.
Yeah, we're all trying to find the guy who did this and give him a spanking.
So I saw that. Interesting. I just wanted to point out for the maggots, the MAGATS, the maggots that are still maggots. You really shouldn't listen to this dude. He, in October of 2013, said, the president should not be telling the Redskins to change their name. When it comes to 2025 and he's in control, he's saying the Washington whatever should immediately change their name. So I just want to point this out because he has no morals, no ethics. You can't say traditional values and look at a guy who's cheated on all of his wives. One time with a porn star, which he gave illegal hush money to and became a felon. Wake up, folks. Here, this was a great one. I saw this on the Civil War Reddit. This says, quote, if we were to have another contest in the near future of our national existence, god damn, they sounded so cool back then. I predict that the dividing line will not be Mason and Dixon's. That's how you know how old it was, because they knew who Mason and Dixon were. I predict that the dividing line will not be Mason and Dixon's, but between patriotism and intelligence. On the one side, and superstition, ambition, and ignorance on the other. Grant in Des Moines, Iowa, September 29th, 1875. Powerful words. What's next? Oh, okay, we're going to get to a little real news. This wasn't getting much attention, but I wanted to point this out, link down below. We lost a great leader, a civil rights activist, a great human, and a fugitive of the law, of the government. For what reason? I highly encourage you to look on why. But Black Panther, Assata Shakur, had passed away in Cuba. An absolute hero to the people. She did a lot of work with the Panther Party. And if you don't know, the Panther Party started the Free Kids for Breakfast program. Not Free Kids for Breakfast. Oh, my God. Free Kids for Breakfast. That sounds like something out of the Epstein files. but she did a lot of work. Workers World, what was it? Workers World. I linked this down below. So workersworld.org, workers.org. Did a whole article on her, how she was usually compared her to Harriet Tubman. And if you know anything, Harriet Tubman is one of my heroes. Absolute icon, should be on the money here in America. We should have statues of her, not of any Confederates. She's a real American, Harriet Tubman. And same with Assata. And she passed away, so I just wanted to give a shout to her. She, was targeted by COINTELPRO, but she did a lot of work with the community before fleeing to Cuba. The free breakfast programs, health clinics, other vital services, promoting the right to armed self-defense against police terror and state repression. Now, if I had said all that and didn't say Black Panther, some of you would be on board. And I question if you wonder, if I had said all that, you'd be on board, but then I said the Black Panthers, you'd question it. That might reflect something. So, rest easy, Assata. Thank you for doing everything you did. This was another, we're going to get to Joe Rogan in just a second, but this was another fascinating story. Free Luigi. DOJ appears to have violated Luigi Mangioni's right to a fair trial. Not fair child, my God. Epstein files on the brain. They released it. Elon Musk is in it. Same with Peter Thiel. Elon Musk was scheduled to go to the island on, what was it, December... When was he going? Pervert. The pervert. Elon Musk to Island, December 6th. Is this still happening? And then he had, a breakfast party with Bill Gates. And he had, breakfast with Steve Bannon. You know that name. The fat racist. And he had a 12 p.m. lunch with Peter Thiel, Jeffrey Epstein. So you're one of the people a year ago saying release the files. It turns out all them dudes in the files. But it looks like old tubby orange tits might have screwed up because they just can't keep their mouth shut. You could tell he's close to shuffling loose this mortal coil because this dude just can't shut up. And September 19th, Deputy Director of the Department of Justice of Public Affairs reposted a clip of President Donald Trump saying that Mangione did all this stuff, which innocent till proven guilty. And the DOJ staffer wrote, POTUS is absolutely right. The Chief of Staff and Associate Deputy Attorney General retweeted the same post. The original post was later deleted. Future violations may result in sanctions, including relief specific to the prosecution of this matter, Garnett wrote. So it turns out them tweeting and tainting his chances to a fair trial is not a good thing. Law and order crowd. The Law and Order crowd. You guys like Law and Order, right? Or is it only when it benefits you? Is that when you only like it? Either way, it's confusing to try to keep up with people with no morals, no ethical code, no, backbone. But you can't be doing that, and they were doing that. So link below if you want to read that story. But we got to get to this Joe Rogan stuff. And before we do that, before we do that, people being too hungry for things, causing things like violating rights. Who's the GOAT? Epstein? What are you talking about? Amptunes? Luigi? I can't tell. The chat's all over the place. I can't. Not Sloppy Steve. No, not Sloppy Steve. Wait, what did Sloppy Steve do? Did he go to breakfast with him? Lunch with Peter Thiel. Oh, Sloppy Steve was at breakfast. Hold on, I'll pull it up for you so you can see. You can see it yourself. Sloppy Steve, that was an all-you-can-eat. They were like, bring in multiple chefs for this one, guys. Hold on. Dude, he says Trump is the GOAT. Trump is in the Epstein files. You are a perv supporter. Reen. I love this, though. I love street art. This is stop capitalizing on loneliness, make friends with something alive. Everyone is as lonely as you. People are defacing ads for AI companions in New York. We are fighting the robot revolution, folks. I love it. BlackRock, not you, ruining. Yeah. I love how people are like, you're in the files. It's you. They're literally, well, hold on. Shit, they're bots. Damn it. Albanian and Azerbaijan bots. I knew it. I knew you guys are bots. Because there's no way you're coming in here with like a 15-year-old's. Nuh-uh, you are. Do you hear yourself? Oh, my cripes. Oh, my cripes. What else? Remember? I was always wondering. I was like, how does Elon know Donald's in the files? Oh, shit. Elon's in the files, too. Good God, man. They're all in the files. Elon Musk to Island, December 6th. So you know what we're doing on December 6th. We got to send him some flowers. Say, hey, this is your anniversary, bro. Anniversary, bro. A lot of PDF files. CJ, there you are. Oh, my God, I was worried about you. I wrote you on the Discord. Are you okay? Let's catch up on the Discord. I haven't seen you in a while, so it's so good to hear your comments. Even MAGA jokes and insults totally suck, right? It's just amazing when they're like, nuh-uh, you are. And I'm like, well, here's some of the files, you know. I get why Elon, Steve Bannon, Bill Gates, all these, you know, sloppy pervos don't want these files released, you know. They were all pulling your leg. They were like, yeah, we'll release them. The Republicans run everything. The House, the Senate, the White House, the military, the ICE, they run everything. They can do whatever they want. And they ain't releasing the files. Why? Because sloppy Steve Bannon was having an all-you-can-eat buffet lunch with, where was it? No, this is the Elon one. Hold on. Let me get to old sloppy Steve. Where's sloppy Steve? Sloppy Steve, you know, he was like, give me the pancakes and put cherries on top to make it look like boo-boobs. Sloppy Elon. I like how Bill Burr calls him Elon. If you've never heard this clip, this is so funny.
Why does Elon Musk dress like he just got out of a Hot Topic?
Elon. Oh, man.
Do you think we're babies?
Do they? All right, let's get to this Joe Rogan stuff because I think I went through all the memes. Rest in peace, Assata Shakur. Free Luigi. I'm getting all of the D-Pain. Are you talking about Tim Pool? You said balding guy says what? I know Tim Pool is balding hardcore. Why do you think he acts like he's 70 years old? Does anybody watch or listen to Tim Pool? It's weird. He's like, guys, I got a skateboard park, and I'm like anti-establishment, but we should just listen to the government. You shouldn't do anything that the government says you shouldn't do. I'm like, God damn, man. What happened to like young people being like cool and rebellious? He's like, you know what the new rebellion is? And Joe Rogan literally said this. Joe was like, you know what the new cool rebellious thing is to do? Is be a conservative, man. I'm like, in the fucking title, conservative. And even conservatives aren't conservatives. We've been doing this for the past week. We went into a deep dive of RFK, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Elon's dad. Elon's dad had 3 wives and then married his stepdaughter. What is conservative traditional values about that? Donald Trump had 3 wives, 5 kids, cheated on all of them, one with the porn star. I'm like, even the conservatives who are selling you on traditional values aren't doing it. Even they're more woke than most woke people. Joe Mama, rest easy, Polio Rogan. Your time is up. All right, guys. Now we are going to role play. We're going to role play the Polio Rogan show. I am going to. Hold on, CJ's here, so I want to show CJ. CJ, look. That's America. That's the oligarchy sitting on our heads. We're gonna role play some Polio Rogan right now because he said some stuff, and I linked the video down below. Podcast Cringe. It's titled "Joe Rogan is losing his mind," and he is, because if you think of what Joe Rogan built, right? Peter Thiel's Palantir, Thiel with it, has a large stake in Spotify. Spotify paid Joe Rogan hundreds of millions of dollars. Joe Rogan now has lots of Peter Thiel's friends on to push Peter Thiel propaganda. Joe Rogan is now mainstream media, part of the state propaganda. Joe Rogan, what he did was built himself a bubble in Austin because he can't handle a difference of opinion. If you don't believe me, search Brian Callen, Joe Rogan on YouTube, and you'll see what happens when you have a difference of opinion with Joe. He gets very mad and has to change the topic. He sounds like an abusive husband. And Joe basically built this little comedy spaceship where he invites everyone in. You have to get past the security guards, the heavily trained Navy SEALs. God bless them. My brother-in-law is one. And he has them surrounding him at all points of time, even at his comedy club, I've heard. So he built this bubble where he only allows people in that he's approved. He doesn't interact with anyone. This is why Polio Rogan also gets duped by the internet a lot, because he doesn't exist in reality. He doesn't go out to normal places and see normal people. Polio Rogan just, has a safe space where he controls every facet of interaction with anything. But everyone that's around him is coming around him to get a payday. And that's really sad. All the comics, they're not coming because they're friends. They're going because they need to get featured on the show to sell their special. They're going to get a spot on his club. They're all there for money. And I would like to ask Joe that. If anybody goes on Joe's program, just ask him, when's the last time you hung out with someone without money involved, that wasn't trying to get paid? But I thought this was fascinating. Andrew Santino was on his podcast and said nothing. Said yes and It's like an improv class. And I thought, why didn't anybody say this to Joe? So I want to do this with you. Here's Joe Rogan talking about the Kirk Merc and the guy who murked Kirk, and he compares him to a mountain lion. So that's the metaphor going on. Hold on.
Mountain lions.
Hold on, let's start.
Then he'll somehow find a way to compare mountain lions to a political
The point is, mountain lions. You gotta let them know who's boss.
Do you, Joe? Does anybody really let a mountain lion know who's boss? Is that like a pet? Are we training a dog?
Yeah.
I'm not for.
Oh, there's Andrew Santino. Yeah, you totally gotta let the mountain lions know who's boss, Joe. Totally.
nation.
The point is, mountain lions. You gotta let them know who's boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not for killing mountain lions. I think they're awesome.
The guy who says that, I'm not for killing mountain lions, I think they're awesome, feels like it's a setup to say, but I do actually want to do what I just said I'm not for. Let's see.
love them, but I'm for killing some mountain lions.
Oh, so you are for, going after the mountain lions.
I'm not for killing them all.
Just a few.
Oh, not all, just a few,
I'm not like kill them all. I'm like, no, you need a balance out there. Otherwise, you get an overpopulation of animals.
Yeah, because there's a ton of overpopulation of mountain lions. You guys see that in the news, right? When they're like, oh, mountain lions spotted in neighborhood because there's so many of them. They're like raccoons now. We can't get rid of the mountain lions, right, Joe? Is that it? Or do you think, Joe, just for a second, I'm going to do a mind experiment with you. Do you think humans are infringing on their territory? I don't know. Just asking questions. You don't have to get abusive. I also did Google if there's an overpopulation of mountain lions. Turns out there isn't. They're not. They haven't been overpopulated. In fact, we made laws to not hunt them so they could reestablish themselves.
Right.
But what you don't need is them killing your f***ing kids.
Yeah, I know. Because, how many days are you seeing it? You're like, oh, what happened to little Jimmy? He was just here. Mountain lion. They're everywhere. They're going through the trash. I'm going to work. I'm like, shoot.
Okay? Because they will kill your kids. And then
Yeah. Is this making sense to anybody?
I told him, you have to f***ing respect me. I've been in this office for...
and you hear and your kids, the back of your kid's f***ing head is caved in now, and this cat's running over a fence with him.
Just another, overpopulated mountain lion story. And it's definitely not because we're infringing on their habitat. That's not it. Mountain lions are they're basically like mice now, keep multiplying. If Joe doesn't get out there and hunt them with the elk, you know, we're all doomed. We're going to be overrun by the mountain lions.
And you turn around, your kid's gone. Like, yeah, that's real.
That is real, folks. That's real. I bet every one of you, it's like the opioid epidemic. Every one of you have been affected by mountain lions, you know? That's why people back in the day used to have so many kids, because it was like, if you didn't have a lot, you knew you were going to lose 1 to 2 kids from mountain lions, just like Joe Rogan says. This is real.
For real, dude.
That's real. It's a cat. It decides it's going to kill you. You're helpless.
You are helpless, you know? Nothing can stop it. Nothing. Going inside, not going to stop it. Getting in a car, driving out of there, not going to stop it.
So shut the up.
Exactly.
With all this Narnia nonsense.
Yeah, you Narnia freaks. Oh, what are you reading Tolkien too? Get out of here. Shut up, Game of Thrones.
So let him know
You
who's
gotta-
the boss. You
you
can't
gotta
come in
teach
my
him.
neighborhood shit.
Yeah, you hear that, Alpha? That is Skibbity Rizma beta cuck stuff. You go outside, you put a sign, toot, 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 toot. Mountain lions, you don't come in my neighborhood. I'm the Alpha, you know?
Ed, you don't put a collar on them and take pictures. So cute.
So
they're in
cute.
our neighborhood. Look, they're camping in front of my house. Yeah, they're waiting for your kid to go get his ball.
I wonder why. I wonder why they're camping in front of your house. That's weird that he said, look, they're so cute. The mountain lions are camping in front of my house. I wonder if you made that house in an area that was deforested and potentially was their home. I don't know. That's thinking. And once you be thinking, you know, then you start questioning things. And we don't do that here on the Polio Rogan program.
Are you f***ing crazy? They just ate your neighbor's dog.
Yeah. You know, the mountain lion ate your neighbor's dog. They're waiting out. They're camping outside of your house for your kids. This is like all too often in America. I mean, if I had a nickel for every newscast that said, ate my neighbor's dog, going after my kids, these mountain lions.
Now they're waiting for your kid to get his ball. It's like these people they don't know what animals are.
Joe might be a little detached from reality, guys. Yeah, Joe, everybody's just thinking they're in a Disney movie. Oh, look, it's Mufasa. I'm going to let my kid go play with him.
They think they're living in a
Andrew Santino is in this episode, folks. Andrew, say something.
movie. They don't, with the Charlie Kirk thing, they don't know what an assassination is. You're cheering. There's some.
Well, here's the thing. If you guys didn't defund Mr. Rogers and PBS, Mr. Rogers actually tackled that when it happened before here in America. And he tackled it so people did know. And they had, you know, sensitive and real discussions around it. But Joe thinks that's woke media funding the Democrats.
Someone got killed with gun violence. You're supposed to be the anti-gun violence people.
They are, Joe. They are. They are. Anybody who's celebrating, and I'll play somebody that wasn't celebrating, but maybe understood that he was just a blatant racist, you know, which we've settled that debate. Bad.
Right.
You're cheering for gun violence. Do you
No, nobody is, Joe. Nobody is, Joe. Why is Andrew Santino just saying right?
know how f***ing crazy this makes you?
No, you know how crazy it makes you to think that that's what's going on right now, Joe?
You look. You're cheering for gun violence against a guy who deplored violence.
He didn't. Charlie Kirk didn't. There's many clips of him talking about bail out the guy who, you know, whatever, attacked Pelosi or did some kind of violence, you know, cheered for against George Floyd. Like, he didn't. This is insanity that Joe has another person there and they're saying nothing to him. Joe lives in a bubble, a safe space.
Right. Yeah, adamantly. He was pretty loud about it, too.
Adamantly, pretty loud. Thank you, Santino, for making Joe feel nice and safe and comfortable with his thoughts that are always correct and true. You spineless cowards, you absolute punks, you losers. Here, I want to play. This is good. I saved this for last. Don't care who's on it. Expose it. Bring it on. What? I want to play this.
It's not too late to outgrow the family hairline.
An ad for Tim Pool. This black woman who talks about Kirk. I want to play this for you. You can find it on Reddit.
watch his videos in their entirety instead of taking little snippets and clips from videos and taking them out of context. And because I'm not afraid to admit that I was wrong, because I do always want to learn and educate myself, I did exactly that, and I decided to rewatch a lot of his videos. And I gotta admit that I am a little bit embarrassed because I truly did not know a lot of what he said. I wasn't privy to it because I did stop watching him quite a long time ago because I did feel that he was a little bit racist. But after rewatching them, I am embarrassed because I realized that I've been being black wrong my entire life. And
Now, this is a black woman talking about Charlie Kirk's comments on black folks, DEI.
I had no clue. I genuinely color me shocked to find out that I could wield my DEI card and I could get any position that I wanted, despite the fact that I am woefully unqualified. So I am going to apply to be the head of cardio at a hospital, maybe a pilot, I don't know, for fun. I don't know, I was thinking about being the CEO of a company, and I'm going to tell them that I want to be a DEI hire and that they have to hire me because I'm a black woman. And I didn't know I could do that. I truly didn't know. If I had known that, I probably would have gotten into Yale with my grades. I got really good grades in high school for the most part, and I didn't know. I had no clue that all I had to do was tell them that I wanted to get in because I'm black on the basis of being black. I didn't know. I feel so stupid because Charlie enlightened me, and he, even though he himself had zero credentials, he did call into question the credentials of plenty of qualified people. And
No, you can listen to the rest of that yourself, but just so you know, that's what Charlie said. That was his message. The DEI meant just be black and you can get any job you want. And that was his blatant racism when he said, I see a black guy who's a pilot and I wonder if he's qualified. And that was the whole racism behind his messaging, funded by billionaires for him to be racist. To keep you divided, you know, like Tim Pool brags about being part of the culture war, which there is none. There's a class war. And Tim Pool funded by, what was it? A Russian fake guy online that was just Russian money. Find out who wants these people to have their voices amplified with those bot farms and all that. And understand people. Oh, CJ, are you leaving? Hopefully not. Trail Goat, thanks. CJ, gotta run. All right, good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Wolfman, like the name. But I love that this black woman specifically called that out and saying, oh, I didn't know I was being black all wrong and could have just pulled out my DEI card, like Charlie Kirk said, and just been a pilot, been this. So you hear the stupidity of Charlie's message, and he should never be celebrated. Now, his death shouldn't be celebrated. No one's death. Well, you know, there might be one. If people were mad hearing people celebrating Kirk, the Kirk Merc, wait until they find out somebody else when they shuffle loose and how much celebration will happen. But it's amazing, you know, and I wanted to amplify that message for you because all these people are like, he wasn't racist, how he was racist, which these young kids, I'm guessing, or old people. Either they're racist and they're playing the coy game too. They're trying to do the subversion of like, he wasn't racist, he just had, no, it was blatant racism, blatant racism. Don't support it. That is a settled matter, you know. The United States has had a long history with that, and we're trying to settle that matter. Racism, bad. I'm missing some of the chat. I don't know what's going on. But listen, guys, you know, I'm not kidding here. Be careful who you're getting your advice from. Anyone who says they're beta, skibbity, cuckmucks, or whatever it is now, just, you know, if they're asking you how much you can push up but not telling you about the books they're reading, just be careful, guys. If they're saying, you know, Mr. Rogers is woke, be careful, guys. Be careful. You know, you shouldn't be threatened, feel threatened, intimidated, fragile egos by Mr. Rogers. And don't forget, guys, I implore you to not forget, Elon Musk is on the list. He's on the Epstein list. That's how, when he was tweeting about Donald Trump being on the list, he knew, because he was on the list too. I linked it down below. Sloppy Steve Bannon was there. And it turns out they were saying, oh, Elon Musk to the island December 6th. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. There's a tiny segment of this population that elected, they wanted law and order and to release the files, and they elected a felon who is a perv in the files to release them. So have a great weekend. Have a great night. Happy Halloween. It's almost that time where you get socialism candy. And hit subscribe at notification bell. CJ, much love to everybody. I forgot. Much love. J Money. I might go live this weekend. You got to hit subscribe and notification bell to do it.